sure that we are all here and accounted for. Y'all go ahead and share out the link. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I just sent out the link to everyone that was on the notification. Okay. I realized I was like, yes, y'all are actually turning on notifications so that you can get this. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into the live. First off, I want to thank y'all for being here this morning, bright and early. It is 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will be with you for the next 5 days. Yes, for the next 5 days. And when I say we, let me go ahead and do like a formal introduction. So, my name is Crystal Gale. You are on my YouTube channel, Hey Crystal Gale TV. Yes, make sure that you are subscribing. But the reason why we are here is not only because I just want you to hang out with me over the next 5 days, it's because I'm really trying to get people to be super intentional for next year. Okay. So not only is my name Crystal Gale, but also for those that don't know me, I am what people call their secret weapon. I am an accountability coach. I am a global speaker. Now, I can officially say I am a global speaker, and we'll go all into all of that and what that actually means and how I ended up and why my word of the year actually set the tone for me getting to become an official global speaker. So if you're just coming in, I just see that people are popping in. Just say, hey, I don't know if I can see the comments. I think I can, but yes, go ahead and drop your city, your state, country, wherever, because I have people that will be watching this from different countries. But not only am I a global speaker and also a coach, but one thing that I love to do is to help people be the wow. And so if you see the tagline, be the wow, you hear someone saying, oh, you're out here being the wow. I promise you, it most likely came from this person over here. But when we say be the wow, we're talking about you showing up and you being purpose driven. You're showing up and you're being consistent. You're accountable to the things that you said that you were going to do this year. And also, you're taking care of yourself while you're doing all the things, right? And so that's what I want you all to do is when we say be the wow, I want you to be purpose driven. I want you to be consistent. I want you to be accountable and I want you to be well while you're doing all the things, okay? So when we say be the wow, that's what we mean. So going back to the reason, hey Reagan, good to see you, Cincinnati, Ohio in the house. I love to see it. So for those that are just coming in, the reason why we're here is that we're going to be selecting our word of the year by the end of the week, okay? If you know me from the clubhouse days, you know that we used to do this every single weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We used to come in, set goals, used to talk about our wins and our woes, and we had a good time. And so one of the things that I was reflecting on is that what are things that work that I may have pushed to the side, and what are things that didn't work, but I kept doing them? What are we taking off our plate and what are we adding to our plate for this upcoming year 2025? And so over the next 5 days I'm going to take you through an 8-step process. Okay, so today we're only going over the first step, all right, because I don't want to overwhelm y'all because that's also one of my specialties is I help people break the cycle of overwhelm. A lot of corporations tend to call this person, okay, to help their employees stop being overwhelmed while they're doing their jobs. All right. If you're one of those corporations, thank you so much for hiring me to come speak this year. It was great. You should be receiving an email as a thank you and all those good things. But I will be booking for the upcoming year. And I'll tell you all about that at the end. Okay. So we have an 8-step process. All right. So when it comes to picking your word of the year, I want you to make sure that you're being intentional over the next 5 mornings. We will be here every single morning, Monday through Friday, for this week only. And then I'll tell you how you can join back in next week. All right. Because that's what I realized is that I actually wanted to continue doing some going live and engaging with my folks because I miss y'all in the morning. I can't have the same schedule that 7:30 because it does conflict with my personal wellness goals. However, I want to make sure that I am giving my time to the people that are going to have, good intentions for this upcoming year. Okay. So let's go into step number one. If you're here, we're going to be here for a short amount of time. We're not going to spend the next hour together. We're just going to spend the next few moments and then I'm going to let you go and you're going to come back tomorrow with your homework. Okay. If that's a plan, just give me a thumbs up. If you're watching the replay, give me a thumbs up. Just like the live so I know that you actually agree with what we're doing. So the first tip is that I need you to get quiet. First step, get quiet and reflect on the past year. Thank you for those that like the live. I see you. Please reflect on the past year. And so when I say reflect on the past year, I'm not just talking about your wins, but I'm also talking about your woes. Okay. Oh, I love it. Oh, Ro. Just y'all, I have a habit of reading the comments as they're coming in. I see you. I love it. Hi, Ro. If you're watching this, I hope that you're having a fantastic holiday season and we're going into this new year. Listen, this is for kids too. We need to help them create a word of the year. So, Rowan, if you're watching this or you're listening, I hope that you're picking a word of the year as well. Okay. So reflect on your past year. Take some time. Get quiet. Listen, the first is on Wednesday. Some of you all are off this week. Some of you actually have a little bit more time because you may be getting off early, okay, on tomorrow. Take some time to reflect. If you're off today, before you jump out into the streets and go and have a good day or whatnot, take some time this morning to really reflect on what happened this year. And I'm going to give you all two ways on how I've been doing it over the last few days. I've been taking it month by month. What were some great things that happened in January, February, March, and just go throughout the whole entire year? What were some woes that happened January, February, March? Okay. And then the second way that I like to tell people to reflect is think about your will of life. If you have attended one of my goal setting sessions, I always talk about the wheel of life. All right. There is this wheel of life, and it covers 8 to 12 categories of your life, depending on how you want to do it. I actually wrote down the areas that I typically focus on. So the first one would be personal growth. Right in the chat, personal growth. So I know you're listening. Career. Okay. That's another section. Spiritual. All right. Fun and recreation. Thank you, Reagan. Relationships. Ooh. What went well? What didn't go so well this year in that category? Physical environment, which could be your home. What went well with your home situation or didn't? Okay. Did you keep your space clean this year? Y'all. If only you knew. Health, okay? Y'all got listen, the comments are tripping me out. Okay, health. How was your health this year? Okay. And money. Did you meet your money goals for this year? And it's okay if you didn't. At this point in the steps of defining or creating your word of the year is that we are reflecting, okay? That's why I want you to get quiet when you're doing this exercise. You can either go through the months, find your wins and your woes, or go through the wheel of life. So I'll run back through those different categories just to make sure you don't have to rewind, okay? Personal growth, career, spiritual, fun and recreational, relationships, physical environment, health, and money. Now, if you're like me, you can go and add in different categories. Like for me, I know some people may say up under career. You may want to add another section and say business. Okay. Whatever works for you, I just need you to get in the mode of reflecting on your year. All right. And the key is we're not worried about if your life was balanced. What you can do is for each category or each area on your wheel of life, you can actually do a scale. You can do 0 to 10. 0 meaning I suffered in this area, and 10 meaning I did well, I excelled in this area. So that you can have a visual of where you are in each category of your life. And so I want you to think about as you're going through that, where do you want to improve in 2025? And just because I don't make y'all do these exercises alone, one of the areas that I definitely wanted to improve, or not didn't, but do want to improve for next year is my health goals. I did good. Okay, listen, that's why I went month by month. I was doing so good until my travel started picking up late spring, early summer. I like literally can pinpoint the trip that I was like, forget about it. And then I would try to pick it back up and get back to my regular schedule. I don't think I ever got back to my official regular schedule. Today is day one of my regular schedule of going to the gym, waking up at a certain time. Just to give you all some insight, I operate much better when I'm up at 4:30 a.m., meaning that I'm at the gym by 4:30 a.m. Okay? I'm just telling you, this is the time to reflect on what worked and what didn't work. My life was chaos waking up after 4:30 a.m. It's just, and you know reason why? It's because I did not have time for me before I started pouring into other people. I would wake up, and jump on a coaching call. I would jump up, wake up, get in a car, drive to a speaking engagement. Wake up, jump up, catch a flight. Oh, no, no, no. We're not doing that in 2025 because if I'm not out here being the wow, I can't expect y'all to be out here being the wow. Now, that does not mean that I need you all to wake up at 4:30 a.m. That works for me. It may not work for you. You may have a spouse, kids, like, nah, that may not work for you in your lifestyle, but it works for me. When we're out here creating our word of the year, this is a personal journey. Now, as we progress through the week, you will hear some people throw out their words. I saw Reagan. Hey, Sarah. I saw Reagan throw out her word. Listen, that don't feel intimidated because you don't quite know what your word of the year is going to be. But I challenge you to take the deep dive. So by Friday, you're going to have your word of the year. Okay. Perfect. So everybody got that? Put in the chat, reflect on the past year. Once you have done that, like the live, comment below and say me, okay? Now, what I want you all to do, because I have something special for you all, and I'm gonna wait to a few more people watch the replay because I'm listen, y'all know how I operate. I'm gonna make sure that everybody has this replay. So I'm gonna email it out. YouTube has to do their thing. I'm gonna email it out once the live is available. But if you want the workbook, yes, there's a workbook. If you want the workbook, put workbook in the chat and I will make sure that you get it. Okay. I'll drop the link. I need enough of people. So I'm not dropping the workbook until I have a certain amount of people that have watched this live because I need everybody to be on the same page before we move forward. Okay. So day one or step one is reflect on the past. All right. And once your homework is done, drop me. If you are already have done everything, all these steps because you had the workbook from last year, you are already out here being the wow. And I love that for you. Okay. So good deal. So I got about 2 more minutes because I said I was going to keep these between 15 and 20 minutes. Let me go to the chat. Okay. Reagan says we got a MetaQuest 3. How cool. And I figured out how to not get out of shape being in the office. Yes. Come on. These dance games have my thighs burning. Shout out to Meta. We listen. Meta, you should sponsor Reagan. Just throwing that out there if you're listening, okay? Thank you, Reagan. Can't wait to see your videos on that. Okay, but you don't have to record them because I requested them. But it actually makes me want to go get a Meta now. How listen, okay, I'll tell y'all about that later. See, this is what happens. This is why the videos tend to be a little bit longer because I'll go on a tangent and start thinking about other things. But yes. Okay, so let's talk. Let's see what Sarah says. Yes, we had to move my Peloton into a different space in October, and I've been so lazy since then. Need to get back on that bike ASAP. Sarah, you are not alone. Y'all know how it's funny that you can pinpoint the moment that you got out of habit? You can pinpoint the moment that everything just turned into chaos. I told y'all I can pinpoint the trip that I got off track and I never got back on track. I would go like occasionally through the week, but like my solid schedule, Monday through Friday in the gym, outside workout, or something fun on Saturday, I lost that because of that one trip. I have no regrets though. It was an amazing trip. But the only regret that I have is that my discipline did not get back on track. And we're going to talk about that later in the week. So we'll put a pin in that. So Sarah also says my schedule changes every 6 months when my husband's schedule changes. So I'm constantly figuring out my routine and schedule, but it's important to me so I can spend time with him. I love that. Listen, some of you all will have to make sacrifices with your schedules in order to elevate certain areas because you're going to reflect and you're like, hey, this area is suffered this year. What do I need to move around to make sure that we're good for next year? Okay, that relationship category. All right. And then other places you excel, maybe in business, maybe in career, you excel. So you may not need to like shoot for the stars. You need to maintain it. So that means that you don't have to put as much effort. You just need to get a solid work schedule so that you can have time for the other areas of your life. Y'all get it? But we won't know until we actually sit down and reflect. So thank you, Sarah, for highlighting that you actually were able to pinpoint or not win, but actually pinpoint the action that was happening on the back end and why it was messing up your consistency. Okay. Okay. I love that. Listen, it's hard keeping a schedule, y'all. Listen, I tell people all the time coaches need coaches too. So while y'all are going through programs, I'm going through programs. While y'all are getting coaching, I'm getting coaching. While y'all are sitting in my audience, hearing me speak, I'm also sitting in different audiences, hearing other people speak. We all need something to grow. All right. So thank you for those that participated in the chat. I see you all. I'm going to head on out because I like to keep these short, sweet, as they say, brief and brilliant. We're going to keep it brief and brilliant. I learned that from another podcaster group, Harley Initiated. I love when they say that. We're going to be brief and brilliant today. Yes. Shout out to those guys. I'm not going to do a podcast, but I'm a podcast type of gal. I'm going to watch a bunch of podcasts as we're going into the new year. It's going to be part of my, what do you call that? Self-care time. I use it as like, I put that in my self-care because it's actually helping me relax a little bit and just hear somebody else's voice besides mine. Okay. So good deal, y'all. So we're coming up to the 20-minute mark. I want to thank you all for coming in. What do y'all have to do? I'm going to repeat it one time. Number one, you're going to say me once you have done the reflection part of it. That's step one. And number two, if you want the workbook to actually walk through this, or let's just say mid-year, you just feel like you're getting off track and you need to go back to the drawing board. You'll have this workbook readily available so that you can go back, flip back, and see what you actually wrote down and why you selected your word of the year. I tell people once you know your why, it's going to help you maintain for the year. Okay. Very good. Awesome, y'all. So thank you all so so much for joining this live. All right. Please look out for it on social media. I'm gonna post it everywhere. I'm gonna text some people. Shout out to the folks on WhatsApp. I got some people on WhatsApp in different countries. Look out for this message. It'll be a link to the YouTube video. Make sure that y'all are subscribing, okay? Make sure you're subscribing. I have 62 followers, subscribers on YouTube, and I don't take any of them for granted. They're actually going to get this notification that I went live today. So please come back tomorrow, same time, 9 a.m. Eastern, and we're going to go through steps 2 and 3. So if you want the workbook, let me know in the chat. If you have done your first step, let me know in the chat, okay? Thank you all again. This is Crystal Gayle. I am the executives, the leader, secret weapon, and now your favorite accountability partner. If you're looking for me, you can find me on all social media platforms at Hey Crystal Gayle. Listen, go over to LinkedIn. That's where I live at right now. Find me on LinkedIn. Find me on LinkedIn, okay? Very good. All right, y'all. Come back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for those that participated in the chat. Y'all are amazing. All right. We're gonna close out the live in 5. Thank you, Sarah. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye, friends.